excited. I liked Fallen Order. I thought it was super duper good, and I can't wait for the sequel. So, thumbs up there. The only other piece of game news today is really non-news, but I see people that are reporting it like the sky is falling, this is it, this is the end. So here's the news. I'm just going to read it word for word, and then I'm going to give you my take on it. Alright? So first of all, here we go. Ready? Microsoft is now setting a $69.99 game price for all of its first-party titles that are now built exclusively for the Xbox Series X and S game consoles, starting in 2023. Including the upcoming Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield games. Okay? Microsoft had this to say about it. This price reflects the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles. Okay? Now, allow me to translate that statement. Alright, let me reiterate it. This price reflects the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles. Translation for layman's terms. We wanted to wait and see if the market would bear the extra $10 that all of our other contemporaries are already charging. We haven't noticed any major dip in game sales, so we're going to say, why are we going to mess out on $10 extra for literally nothing? We're jumping right on that free money bandwagon, everyone, so pay, and enjoy the ride. Because let's be honest here, $10 extra is not going to finance anything significantly new. It's not going to make these games any better. They just want $10 more profit. Okay? That's all it is. And the other companies have been doing this. I just bought Callisto Protocol. That was $70. God of War Ragnarok. That was $70. All these new games are $70. They're all charging $70 now. So, Microsoft has been the one to hold off on it. Now they're seeing everyone else is doing it, and they're fine. So now they're going to jump on. They didn't want to be seen as the villain. They didn't want to be seen as the company that did it first, and then everyone rages against. So they waited an extra year, but now everyone else is on it, so they're like, okay, now it's time for us to jump in and make our extra money for literally nothing. They will not be taking that $10 extra from every sale and putting it towards Jack Diddley. That's going right to their bottom line. It's bullshit. It's the most nonsense PR talk I've ever heard. Seriously, that's just baloney. There's absolutely no way that that's going to go towards these games being any better. So don't believe it. At all. Okay? It really is baloney. Okay. So anyway, yeah. Now some people are upset, and some people, it's weird because some people are like freaking out about this, and they're going, oh my god, now all the games are going to be more expensive, and this is just the beginning of the end. Now, here's the thing. This is not unprecedented, and in fact, if you want to know the truth, as someone who grew up in the 1990s as a gamer, I can attest first-hand experience to this. In the 1990s, it was way worse than it was today. You want me to explain? In the 1990s, you would go to the store, you want to buy a video game. You actually have no idea how expensive a video game will be. Because back then, stores actually priced based on demand. Which they don't do today. Today you go to a store and you're like, I want to buy a video game. They're all the same price, roughly. Now you got some games that are shorter, they'll be cheaper, right? But for the most part, a new video game is either $59.99 USD or $69.99 USD, right? Those are the standard prices. Back then, you would go to the store and let's say, for example, you wanted to buy Super Mario Brothers 3. Well, it's a fairly popular game. Everyone's played it and had it. It would probably be a standard price. It would probably be sold for like $50. Okay? But now let's say you wanted a game that's very popular and in demand and the stores can't keep it stocked. It's so popular. I'm talking games like Street Fighter 2. I'm talking games like the Final Fantasy games. Okay? Those games infamously would sell out over and over and over and fly off the shelf whenever they were restocked. Those games, I'm not kidding, would be sold at a store sometimes upwards of $80 to $100. Why? Because of demand. It wasn't the actual cost to produce the game. It wasn't actually that the game developers even demanded that price be paid. The stores themselves dictated the price they charged based on demand. If more people want it, we can charge more for it, and people will be willing to pay that. That's how it was in the 1990s. I remember going and buying a few different games. Like, for example, I remember one day I think I'd received like, out of all the gifts that I had gotten for one of my birthdays, I got like $100 total. And I'm a kid. This is, no, I'm not going to get any more money. This is like the money I got for my birthday. So I went to the store with my dad, and we're looking at the games that they have. And it's like, man, so Mega Man 3 is going for like $70 on the NES, right? It's like really expensive. But instead of Mega Man 3, I can actually get this other game called Phalanx and another game as well for the same price of Mega Man 3. So even if one of the games sucks, if the other one's okay, I got one good game out of the two. Well, if I spend all my money on Mega Man 3, that's literally all of my money. I can't even afford another game, right? So I remember I made a boneheaded decision and I bought Phalanx and another game. I forget what the other one was. I bought 2 games and I came home. Now, what's hilarious about this is many of you might not know what Phalanx is. No, I take it back. Wrong game. I meant Abadox. I got them confused. I've got Abadox is the game I bought, not Phalanx, okay? So Abadox, all right, is a game that looks interesting on the box art. I can't remember exactly what it looks like. When you take it home and you start to play it, you realize you made a grave error. Because what Abadox is, it's an actual, like, side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, but it's pretty bad. It's not a very well-made one. It's not, like, as good as Gradius or anything like that. You're literally, like an astronaut in a chair, and you're flying around just shooting right endlessly, firing power-ups and shit and stuff, okay? And basically, the game starts off slow and interesting, and then all of a sudden the game just gets insanely hard. And it's one of those games that's just so poorly made that, well, not poorly made, but it's so over-the-top difficult that really you need to use cheat codes to beat it. And that's fine. Back in the day, who cares if you use cheat codes? It's not like you're online competing against other people. But I just remember playing it, and basically I bought it, and I beat it. I had to cheat to beat it. And after I beat it, I was like, wow, that was really dumb of me that I bought this game. Like, I shouldn't have bought this one. Even though it was cheaper, this was a bad choice. I totally should have bought Mega Man. You know? Because Mega Man, you know what you're getting. And I had already owned Mega Man 2, and I loved Mega Man 2. And I was like, I don't know why I chose this random shooter over a game that was going to be tried and true, guaranteed to be good. Back then, the thing is, you didn't know what these games were. There was no game reviews or anything. So you had no idea what you were getting. So that's what I mean. Like, back then, you had to make these kind of crazy decisions. Imagine going to the store today, and you were going to buy, God of War Ragnarok. But because it was popular, God of War Ragnarok was $100. Or you could buy Sonic Frontiers and another game for, $90. So what's your decision, right? Do you get the game that maybe is kind of good, but not great, and another game as well that you don't even know what it is? Or do you just buy God of War Ragnarok for the more expensive price? That's how it used to be back then, okay? But today, every game's the same price. The market has kind of settled into having this be your equal pricing. And if any game is outside of that pricing, people complain, right? So it's interesting to me that now people are like, oh my God, did you hear that Microsoft is raising the price of their games? It's like, all they're doing is they're adjusting to the market. The market has already determined that 70 is the price point. People have been paying that for about a year now. So there really is no freak out reason here. It's just things are settling in at a more expensive price point. Does that suck? Of course it does. Anytime that prices go up for the consumer, that sucks, right? No one's going to deny that. But at the very same time, is this a reason for us to freak out about it? No, I don't think so. I don't think that we're in a freak out mode or anything like that. It's just we got to accept that prices are going to go up over time as inflation goes up, game development costs are going up. I directly think that there will actually be better games as a result of the $10 extra? No, I don't believe that. But at the same time, you just got to accept it. We've had $60 games for an entire console generation, right? If not even a little longer. We've kind of had it easy. So